All right, what's up guys, and welcome back to the channel. A lot of stuff to discuss today. There's a lot of crazy stuff going on in the crypto space as usual. Seems like every few days there's something, but I do want to hit several specific topics. This is one of them, so let's hit this out the gate. There's plenty of good news going on in the crypto space, so let's hit that first, and then we'll hit the bad news here in a second. Let's start off with Portfolio Master. So if you guys have ever wondered how to take advantage of those tokens that just 10x 100x whatever, it takes a lot of research to get into those and to try to get into the right ones, and some people are cut out for that research and some people aren't. I don't love doing that research. I've got lucky a few times after digging into stuff. You dig into something with utility or whatever, but it's hard to pick the right ones. Luckily, there are some teams out there that thrive at this stuff, and thank you to Crypto Phil, because he's the one who actually turned me on to these guys, and I joined their free Telegram and started digging in, and these guys are actually doing deep dive research to try to find tokens that have a lower market cap that are primed to spike, and these guys are actually hitting winner after winner. So I know we may not be in a bull market yet and we're not seeing stuff go crazy, but they are finding these tokens that are continuing to spike, and a lot of people are making great gains. I, for one, think that the Bitcoin ETF thing is going to get approved. And when that spot ETF gets approved, institutions are going to have to go out and actually buy those assets because it's a spot ETF. When that happens, Bitcoin's going to spike big time. Ethereum's going to spike big time. And when those go up, you're going to see a ton of altcoins go up as well. Some are going to go absolutely crazy, sometimes for no reason. Sometimes it's because they have some specific utility or whatever. Now, I don't personally have time to do the research to decide which one's going to do it, and it would help me, frankly, to be able to get that information from someone else. So I was talking about this with Crypto Phil. He said, check out Portfolio Masters. I've been trying some of these, and he's won on a couple plays. So here it is. So just full disclosure, these guys just charge a flat fee per month. Their normal fee is $50 a month for their premium service. And I want to say if you want to buy it in like 3 months at a time, 6 months at a time, or a year, or you can buy like a lifetime. I don't quote me on this. I want to say the lifetime's like $800 or something. It's not a crazy amount. So if it's something that you're interested in doing, then consider it. Now, today is the last day. They had something running through the end of the month, so I wanted to squeeze it into this video because I forgot about it earlier in the week, or was just too busy. They're basically offering 30% off all of their plans. So if you're interested in the subscription for this one, what's normally $50 will be $35. So super reasonable. $35 a month. If you want to pay in monthly installments, is not a lot to have somebody go and do all this research for you and give you prospective plays. Now keep in mind that all this stuff is crypto, super risky. None of this is financial advice. These are just if you're hoping to dive into some altcoin plays that you think may spike, and you don't have time to do the research, like I don't personally. I could sit around all day and do the research, but I'd much rather pay a company $50 a month to do that for me, and then I just pick the plays out of those groupings that I like. So as you can see here, here's a bunch of ones they picked. They're really selective on their plays. As you can see here, they're not trying to do pump and dumps. They're not trying to, pick a token and then push a bunch of information out that it's going to spike and that causes the price to rally and then everyone comes out. They're finding projects that really have good utility and projects that could go from like that lower mid cap to mainstream. So I think that's important to know. As you can see here from the picks that they made, Noexa 4x, Credify 3x, this one 8x, 4x, 5x. So they're picking plenty of winners, which is awesome. I personally am going to be involved in the monthly subscription because I want to shortcut this. And I've been talking to the team a little bit. They're great guys. They're actually building out a website. So right now it's just all on Telegram, kind of like a calls channel. Here's the ones we've been researching. Here's why we think they're going to go up, and jump in if you want to. So pretty simple, right? But they're also developing a website to where you can go to it. You'll be able to see if the plays that you've made are profitable and kind of see your whole portfolio in one spot, which I think is extremely helpful because I track every crypto play I do over like on a Google sheet, and sometimes it's a little frustrating. It's just a lot of extra work for me. And it would, of course, be a lot of work for me to track all these little altcoin plays. If I'm throwing $100 into each one and just seeing how they play out, it would take a lot of time to do that. So if they could shortcut that for me and offer that on just like a portfolio dashboard, that would help a ton, and it would be even worth the money more if that's the case. Now they're developing that, should be out fairly soon, so keep that in mind. The only reason there's urgency on this for you to kind of get in right away is if you want that 30% discount, if you want to be able to get this for $35 a month. It's not super complicated. You just send the crypto to an address that they give you. I'll try to find it here. If I can't find it in just a second, I will post it in the description down below. but there's just a wallet address to send to. And anyway, since it's not right in front of me, I'll post the wallet address down below. They accept a couple different types of crypto, so not too many options, but you can get signed up, and then you get access to the private Telegram, and that's where they share all the infos and everything on their plays. They also have a Discord if you prefer Discord, and they say that one's organized and everything a little bit better. So anyway, not a huge shill here. I just do know that their promotion's ending. Like I said, these guys are super cool, super helpful. I am trying to see if they'd be interested in doing like an AMA. If not, I may just do one with like Crypto Phil. We'll get on and talk all about it because he's really been digging into it heavy. I'm trying to see if they'd be willing to give like one free license away to the people who join the AMA or something like that. So anyway, it's all speculative. Of course, none of this is financial advice, but I personally think the Bitcoin spot ETF is going to get approved. Probably the Ethereum ETF as well. When that happens, investor or institutional capital, I should say, is going to pour in super heavy. It will almost force us into a bull market, and a lot of these plays are going to get crazy. So if these guys have already done the research on that mid-level stuff, and I can just read through and pick the picks that I want and throw in a couple $100 and see what happens, I think it's a no-brainer. If you're in the crypto space, obviously we're all taking risks. We're all taking risks both on individual coins, but then also on all these protocols we're in. I would love to dump some money into some of these smaller, low market cap tokens and then just sit by and kind of watch them passively to see where they go and see if I can get some good exits. So anyway, not a paid promo or anything here, but I do really like it. I dig it, and I am going to get involved in it personally. Figured you guys might as well take a look as well and see if it's something for you. Next up, let's talk about Street Vendor Wars. So Street Vendor Wars, shameless plug. This is of course our protocol built by Keith, one of our team members from the Foodtopian group. And we are up to 100, almost 125 BNB in this. So nice little project. I know it's not $1 million or anything, but of course everything we do is always safe and they're fun to play and everything. So we've got, of course, our food business. We've got another Food Fighters game that's on the horizon right now. We're probably gonna start promoting that. And then we've got this one, just depending on what you're really interested in. But Street Vendor Wars is simple. If you haven't heard before, you get in. It does require you to add some sort of buddy address. There's one down below, but you can use anybody's. It doesn't matter to me. What happens when you log in is you'll have trucks. You'll need to actually buy trucks. You can buy them in order, and then you can upgrade those trucks to new levels. So you'll need about 0.07 BNB to get started, and then after that, your trucks are basically earning you tokens, earning you coins. Those add up, and you can exchange those for bucks, and then you can buy new trucks. So it's really just a play to earn kind of minor game where you're trying to beat out the rest. I got a hourly food coin yield of 4,500. Your goal really is to have as many trucks as possible and be producing as many coins as possible. And then once you get up to a certain level, the ideal thing to do would just be claim a little bit, upgrade a little bit, and try and see where you can go. So the next play for me, as you can see, I'm upgraded to level 3 on everything. I need to get this one up to level 3, which I need 10,900 food bucks for. So got a couple days more of accumulation to do that. But I just did want to call this out because we jumped up just a day or two ago. We had 100 BNB. Now we've got almost 125. And I think this is going to continue to climb. It seems like people are starting to have some fun with it. So cool game, totally safe, shameless plug. But of course, this is part of our ecosystem and it's something we're enjoying. So I want to share it with everybody else. How about this one? This is definitely one that you haven't seen in a while. Let me see, let me refresh, make sure it connects. All right, so I've got all these tokens. I kind of gave up like everybody else. I've got a ton of tokens that I have still left to claim, and I've got 500 sitting there, but it's almost not even worth me selling or whatever coming in every day, so I kind of put it out of my mind. But one thing I have been doing is I have been chilling on my FuPool situation. So basically what happened is I started claiming, but what I did is I just claimed to FuPool every time. So every time I would claim tokens, I would claim them over to the FuPool over and over and over again. It would pay me out like my $1.50 or whatever that was available, and then I just continued doing that forever. At some point I decided I wanted to maximize those earnings, and so I set a 120-day limit time frame on this so I could get a little extra bonus. So I did that and did that for a while. Token price kept falling, didn't really help me out too much, so my money's basically, I've been letting it sit. I wanted to wait the full 120 days until I could get that. So let me move me back over here, and as you can see, my stake has dropped considerably from what it was, but I do have some in the available column, so this together is worth now over $1,000 bucks. So I've been sitting and waiting and trying to let this thing accumulate and run out of my time, and I now have 1.89 days until I can get that $1,037 back. So I'm kind of excited about that. I do know like the community's kind of taken over this one. We've seen a little boost in the token price and everything, but for me, I'm gonna claim this. And then what I'll probably start doing is I'll, just so I can get it all back, I've got my $1,000 or whatever, then I'm gonna start claiming to FuPool again. I'll just claim that forever, and I'll see if I can turn this thing into like another 1,000 or something, but who knows. This will put me well into profit, so I'm actually excited about that. I know Furio was kind of a drag. Started off really hot, looked super promising, and they just weren't able to, come to the table with Furio Finance or FearBot or any of that stuff that they were trying. So like a lot of protocols, started super hot, just tanked. This of course is an old story, but I just figured I would bring up the fact that I'm actually able to claim, and some of you guys that were claiming to FuPool, you may be in the same scenario. So there may be a little bit hidden money sitting there waiting for you. Next up, let's talk Centrium, still printing. Let me refresh this, I don't know where I'm at right now. There we go. This one I just got into a couple days ago. It's basically like a QP clone. I mean, QP's been running since February, so I'm hoping it basically does the same thing. But I've dropped 1,000 into the 2 plans, as you can see here, 500, 500, and I've got the profits here. So total earnings 68, not too bad for just a couple days. So what I'll probably do is I'm an hour and 10 minutes away. I'll let this accumulate and then I'll do another withdrawal. And I'm just planning on kind of claiming from this from now with the crazy stuff that's been going on in DeFi. I'm just playing a little more conservative for a couple days till the pain wears off a little bit, but I will be claiming that. So far, this one's just a printer, super nice. Another one that's been printing for me is Cetti. So all I do is I just come in here every few days and I claim. Already pulled out 138, so I'm like 15% to ROI, and I've got more that's coming. They are changing some things, not really changing, but just like adding another investment bucket, and it's more like a day trading investment bucket type thing. So once they announced that, people have been investing a little more. As you can see, this thing was stuck at like 30,000. Now it's up to 41,000. So still not like a really big protocol as far as TVL, but it's still printing. Some of you guys are waiting on the final CertiK audit to come back before you really take a deep dive into this one. And with the addition of their new plan, they basically had to add that back into the audit as well. So any day now we should see that. Some folks will want to get into the new plan, some folks won't. For me right now, I'm actually just pretty satisfied with my daily gains that I'm getting. I'm just enjoying the semi-passive income, and I'm just really hoping this one is a long laster. All right, let's jump over to Polygon Land. So this one's still working too. Obviously, this is Richie's project. 87,000 Matic still in there. Obviously, the drain has slowed down quite a bit because of the percentages, the daily percentages are lower. I personally think Matic is gonna boom during this next bull run, so I'm just kind of hanging on to my Matic. I've got 1,000 in this wallet, and then I've got another pile of it over in a cold storage wallet. So I'm just building this up. Eventually, I'll transfer this over there, and I'll just wait for the bull run and see what it turns into. I wouldn't be surprised at all if it's an easy 5 or 10x. So this one's pretty good. I'm at 56% to ROI, but I'm actually more than that. In my personal tracker, I'm tracking higher than that because the price of Matic has gone up since when I first got in and when I first piled my money in. So that increase in token price has actually helped me out a little bit. So I'm gonna wait to claim this till tomorrow, but we'll come back to that. Next one that I wanna talk about that is super important is Stableswap. So as you can see up here, there's only 13 hours left in the early bird promo. So if you guys aren't aware of what the early bird promo is, it's before their official launch, December 1st. They're just offering an extra percentage. So if you get in and provide liquidity early, so the project can get a bunch of liquidity, then you get an extra percentage. So normal plans, you can go as high as 300 days for 0.35 a day, which is still really good, especially for stable coins. In this case, if you invest in the next 13 hours, then you're gonna get 0.53%. So considerably higher when you break that down over long periods of time. I have just been DCAing into this nonstop. So far, I've been able to accumulate, move a little over $2,000 in there, and then I just transferred in some more. So I've got another $353 that I want to put in. So I'm going to quickly do that now. If you want to deposit money and get it in your wallet but not staked into a plan, you just go like this, boom, USDT, Binance, and then you can send it to that address, or you can connect your MetaMask and transfer it that way. When you're ready to withdraw, you can do the same thing. Put your address in here, the amount that you want, and then you pick your currency. We're not doing that yet. I'm actually putting money into the system. So I'm gonna come over, click liquidity pools, provide liquidity. I'm gonna click on USDT, and I want my amount to be 353.65. Let's see if it lets me do that whole amount. I'm gonna have to go like a cent less. Perfect. Okay, my request has been processed. Let's go back over to the dashboard. And it's there. So far I've been able to deposit 23.59 in there, which is pretty solid. And that should make me some great gains. Hold on real quick while I go put that in my tracker. Okay, we're back, and let's just refresh this real quick. And then I'm actually gonna back out. I'm gonna log out because on these screens yet, I've actually requested this, that they have like a total TVL or like a total contributed. Let's log out and let's take a look at what they've got. So 273,000 so far that they've brought together before the official launch, just on the early bird promo. So pretty awesome. Congrats to Danny and team. I think this one's gonna be a banger. All right, so that's all the good stuff I'm gonna talk about. There's plenty of other projects that I could. Xfusion's been working really well for me. Pullstrip is doing fine. It's like right around the $20 mark. Sparkswap, Elephant, Drinks, Alpha 365, and so on and so forth. But anyway, the big news that came out today is Carol, and particularly the base chain side. So don't kill the messenger here, I'm just reporting the news. Apparently, because Carol on the base chain side was DEX traded, there was some sort of flash loan exploit that caused the liquidity to drain. So it went from like 200,000 all the way down to basically zero, and it's actually building back up, either because people aren't watching and they're continuing to put money in, or it's compounding. But the base chain side is essentially wiped out, which sucks big time because I had a pretty big bag in here. I put a lot of money in. I did ROI, so I'm at least excited about that. But I had a couple $100 more in here that I was able to claim, that I was just waiting for a couple days, letting it build up, and then I was gonna claim. So that's painful, but I do know folks who lost a lot more, who were letting it build up for a long period of time. That way they could get their whole bonus to build up and give them a higher percentage and earn more per day, and then drain it all in one time. And those guys got wiped out. So not good at all. Check the official Telegram for any new updates to figure out what they plan to do. Again, I'm just reporting the news. That's what happened this morning. I logged in early to Telegram and heard people talking about that when I was in the base group. I came in and checked. Of course, it was gone. I came over to the BNB side, and just for safety for myself, I went ahead and just claimed what I had available, just so I at least could get that. The BNB side came out later and wasn't DEX traded, so apparently it's more insulated from that. It can't have a flash loan issue. So they're saying that the base side is completely safe, or not the base side, sorry. The BNB side of Carol is completely safe, and the base side is basically wiped out. So when that happened, total liquidity was a little over 1 million. Everyone basically came in and just claimed what they had available, and it dropped $400,000 in a matter of a couple hours. As you can see now, it's basically stuck at a little over 600 because people don't have that available. It has a little bit in insulation now because people have their stuff bonded for that 30 days, and we're only about 2 weeks into this protocol. So, you know, we'll see what happens. We'll see if the trust is lost. As you can see, the Carol price has dropped quite a bit, so it's making whatever you've earned worth less. But if they can get back some of that trust, then we could see a resurgence on this side. If they can figure out what to do on the base side, see if there's any way to get some of that liquidity back and pay people out. I have no idea, but I do know it's super unfortunate. I have not ROI'd in this side yet. I'm like 80%, something like that. So in order to get to break even, I need this price to stay stable and not keep diving. And then I, of course, need at least some of the liquidity to be in there so I can get it up and get a couple more claims over the next couple weeks and get back to break even, maybe a little bit into profit. So if you're in Carol and you're on the base chain side, just check the official Telegram to see what's going to happen. If you're on the BNB side, you can claim if you want to. It's not compromised, at least to this point, and it has a chance to still resurge and come back. So that's it for now. As always, wild times in DeFi. Hopefully most of you guys stayed safe and weren't severely impacted by this stuff. I was a little bit. Like I said, I had a lot of money over on the base chain side, and so a lot of potential future income, but I at least have got past the break-even point, so I'm a little bit in profit. So it's not super painful. So hopefully you guys are in a similar situation. If you have any questions or want to discuss and talk about anything that I didn't actually talk about on the video, feel free to jump into my Telegram or the Telegrams of the prospective projects. Don't forget that tomorrow, I need to make a thumbnail. Tomorrow in the middle of the day Eastern, I will be jumping on a live stream with the Foodtopian team. So that's Lee and Keith, and we're going to talk about, of course, our projects quite a bit, the new stuff we've got coming out, and then I'm sure we'll dabble into other parts of crypto. But anyway, hope you guys are having a great day. I'm going to cut this off now because I feel like it was already too long. But stay safe out there. Wishing you guys the best and happy investing.